So we will find out in just a moment, because I'm actually going to toss it over to the casters now, because we're going to get our deciding map underway. So it's over to you, Snods and Tom.
Deciding map indeed. Third and final one here in the first semi-final of the Intel Challenge Katowice 2019. And we were conflicted here. I say we. I thought CLG Red were going to take it. You think Assassins have it? You want to explain your point?
I think that I've been very impressed with them as a team. They're building into the tournament. Yeah, they've had their first loss, but I think that Train actually works quite well for them. I think that Candy has been impactful with the AWP. Sure, Die on the other side. I think it's been a little bit more up and down, and I think Candy has been consistent all the way through the series. I think moving on to Train, she's going to be the sort of high-impact player for this game. Obviously, I still think it's going to be like a 16-13, 16-14 scrappy game. I don't think anybody will run away with this one, but ultimately, like I said, I've been very impressed with what I've seen from them. I think Train, especially on the T side, although there are a lot of smoke setups, a lot of the time it can come down to very scrappy battles. And like you go rushing into that B site, you have the sort of retake scenarios. That's where I give it to Assassins, because I think when it comes down to scrappy Counter-Strike, that's where they take the win.
Especially when the pressure's there. Can make things a lot more scrappy, as you said. Okay, I'm not sure what that was, but anyway. That's just broken you, hasn't it, Tom? Production's trying to maybe just see if we can hold our nerve against that one. But Mimi, she can definitely hold her nerve in the first round of the third map here. 2 kills, and a third as well towards this B-bomb. So just Emmy and Benita last alive.
Bomb down. This is going to be impossible for the remaining players on CLG Red. Emmy does at least manage to finish off 1, but Benita now has to try and kill off 4 players. It's an ace for Mimi in the pistol round. Every single kill going away. I think the Death said if Mimi and Vilga are able to get triple kills, then they're going to win the game. What about an ace? That's not a bad way to start.
1-0 on Train. Obviously, to take that CT side pistols, very, very important going forward. Giving extra cash for Candy. Obviously, you mentioned how good Candy's been so far in this best of 3, and on a map like Train, having the AWP early is going to be very effective. But look at the force spike coming out from CLG Red. They have 2 AKs that are dropped over. Jennifer and Diane having no Kevlar, but a UMP and a Deagle to back it up. Benita as well, trying to go for the early face. Gets tagged down by Vilga's Org to 1 HP. The flash as well from Kelly is perfect. Gets 1 kill. The Dink as well, down to Goose Breeder. 2 players now fairly low from CLG Red. And Mimi as well, spreading out players towards B upper. So for Assassins now, they could just play the retake game. They have Molotov for Claudia, Diffuse Scope for Candy. They have the health advantage, the weapon advantage. But it seems that they will stay put.
They obviously still the weakened Jennifer and Benita down to just 1 HP. You almost wonder if they want to swap weapons here, just hand over that Deeg, switch over the Scout. But either way, they are going to be rotating back towards the B side. It's actually only Mimi here. Obviously, Ace in the first round, looking to try and follow that one up. Goose Breeder with the nice entry. You'd think Claudia would be able to get this one through the smoke, but doesn't actually find anything. And now the push comes in on the other side of the map. Mimi's been pulled away, won't be able to catch anyone on the cross. And just look at the aggressive angle already taken by Jennifer. She's able to get right up in the face of Mimi, put her down low, and finished off by Benita. It's looking like that second round bounce back once again. And Claudia now left in a 1 versus 4. Not going to happen.
Not going to happen indeed. The force by victory from CLG Red, going 1 for 1. We saw it on Overpass. Force buys going back and forth. These teams are just so evenly matched. 19-16 on Overpass, 16-13 on Mirage. And still the teams are neck and neck. CLG Red making the double AK investment so effective. And now with that, they're the ones going to be against the force buy. 2 5-7s, a Deagle for Candy, CZ onto Vilga. Kelly with the Scout as well, playing towards Ali. And for CLG Red, they're waiting for that aggression. Players in the B halls waiting to go down Pop Dog, players in towards team main as well. So I imagine they're eventually going to go towards A, based off of those picks.
Quick flick, Vilga's gone, and well, now the T's don't really need to go for anything overly aggressive. They already have the advantage, weaponry and personnel. Well, Kelly, just unscopes at the wrong time. A little bit of damage done onto Benita, but again, they're looking to double back over towards this B site. Mimi, again, the only one here. Kelly does at least manage to bring it back in terms of the scout kill, but this is going to be so difficult. The only way that this can really work out for Mimi is if they just don't check up her and they go down the ramp. Because then she can just sort of sit back and try and do the damage onto the player, planting the bomb. And that's actually looking possible. In fact, Dai's just going to run into her hands. That's the bomb stop gone up her. That should never have happened. Doesn't go with the rest of her team. And now the rotation can come in. They've got to clear Mimi quickly. But she can just opt to try and hide in the corner. Still, though, they'll clean all 3 frags quickly. But Kelly's got them both low and has the scout.
Pretty much an AWP at this point. When you look at the HP for Goose Breeder and Jennifer, storming their way through Pop Dog in towards the A side. They have the flashbangs, but Kelly still seems adamant that it's going to be the play towards the B side. Eventually catches wind that it is towards A, but it's too late. Bomb goes down. Now, there's a chance in the round for Assassins, but I believe it may have disappeared. Kelly coming out through connector. Scout still in hand. She knows both the remaining players are low. Has so many angles she has to clear. And based off the sound as well, CLG Red, they go for the 3, 2, 1 face. And just like that, they go 2-1. And surely that's going to force out the eco from Assassins.
Yeah, so close. Like, it looked like that round was going to get away from them, especially when the bomb gets left alone in upper. If Mimi could have just held on a little bit longer. I think the other thing as well is her teammates will get wrecked on the rotation. So caught out, not quite enough, and now we're just going to see a full-on Ivy push by the looks of things. Just all stacking up together. They want to try and isolate a player, steal away. They've got a pop flash as well, so Goose Breeder holding very passively. The question is, will the flash actually catch her out? If it doesn't, they're just going to be like lambs to the slaughter.
Single flashbang from Kelly as they wait for the noise to be made towards Ali. Spotted, flashbang is deployed. Yeah, they expect it. Goose Breeder having a field day towards Ali as Diane picks up the pieces. It is just going to be the 3rd round for CLG Red.
Nice and clinical. Only losing 1 player and not too much damage received early on. That means that they have a decent bank for any sort of rebuys necessary. Not going to see the AWP early on, which was one of the sort of win factors I was looking at to see Candy have that trusty AWP. Instead, she's just going to be stuck on the AUG, obviously the most common weapon at the moment. Even have one on the T side at the moment, but we are going to be watching, see whether or not Assassins can break back quickly. They don't want to allow CLG Red to build up any cash. See the boosted drop down in towards Pop. Just take the control early on, but not actually gather too much behind it. They're just going to clear that spot, go rotating towards B, which currently only has 1 player.
Only Mimi with the AUG. Double flashbang as well, so no Molotov to slow down an eventual push towards B if it does come to that. For CLG Red, they still have the default going strong. Jennifer in towards Pop Dog, 2 players towards Ali, or 1 now, and Benita holding towards Team A, and that's exactly where Vilga is starting to push, trying to find information, especially as the nades are being utilized towards B. But CLG Red aren't actually going to be pressing towards B. Coming back now towards the A sides, the bomb is there. 50 seconds remaining. Vilga with such a good position.
The thing is, the T should know that they need to clear this properly. Like, any sort of push in this scenario and without checking the angles is going to be a big, big problem. They don't actually use any utility. They're just going to drive peek in. Oh, there's the flash, but it's just too late. And Vilga with a double straight in. Dai has to trade this frag quickly because there just isn't anything without the bomb. But Kelly, well placed. Another picked off. Only 20 seconds left on the clock as the CT slowly pick them apart. And Dai's the only one to pick up a frag. She's got to try and get herself 3 kills in this scenario. Fakes out the bomb, but Candy is right on her back. AWP will go into her hands as well. But as said, the T's, they put themselves in a position where they can buy into this one.
Thanks to winning the Battle of the Force by CLG Red. Obviously it was Diane and Goose Breeder that went amok towards Ali versus the Eco, which means the money is still strong, and as you said, they can afford the buy into the 6th round. 4 players from CLG Red. Encroaching now towards the B site. Mimi alone, they're just going to be shoulder peeking towards lower ramp. Has the Molotov in hand, ready to deploy. And the bomb isn't first, so she'll see Emmy, but she's going to meet and greet here, it seems like. Entry there from a star player from CLG Red, and that may be enough to win them the round as Candy manages to break through the smoke at Connector. Vilka with a well-timed lurk as well, up through Pop Dog. It's a 4 versus 3.
Yeah, Emmy's gone ham in this round, but will eventually be traded out, and actually it's more onto Goose Breeder at this point. The flank in could be crucial. Jennifer doesn't seem aware of where her teammate actually sits, but will go pushing it anyway. Claudia tries to go for the defusal while in the smoke, but it isn't going to be working out. Jennifer's just waiting around the angle. Will be able to close off one. Vilga from above trying to do the damage. Sprays through, but they both run out of ammo. Vilga's going to go for the knife. The question is, does she have time for the defusal? It's going to be so unbelievably close, but I think she's got it.
Oh. See the relief there as well on the faces from Assassins. 3-3. These rounds are so close. These teams are so evenly matched.
It's Vilga again.
Yeah, again.
Vilga in the clutch gets a knife kill and then goes to the defusal.
Yeah, that clutch from Mirage is definitely one to remember.
And also, like, the thing is, she's also the one to make sacrifices in this team. Like, note how I think she started this round with $7,000, drops an AUG, drops an AWP, buys an MP9.
Also, as well, she was buying utility over AKs and over M4s to use for her teammates' advantage. Oh, for now, though, Candy just taking advantage of the CLG players as they were on Eco. 2 kills for her, 2 for Claudia. 4-3 now, and this is where the buy comes in for CLG Red for another time.
Yeah, she actually doesn't manage to upgrade that MP9, so that is still going to be into this round. Obviously, the rest of her team do have a flawless buy. The T's in similar fashion, lots of utility. Dai will have to go for a glass cannon AWP, so we'll be a little bit more vulnerable to the utility and, of course, that trusty SMG in the hands of Vilga. It's interesting, like, she's yet to get aggressive towards Pop. I believe that will be the play to make with that MP9, otherwise it's not really the most valuable weapon, but in fact, she's looking to go into A main again. Now, this is something she's already done once. This is something she's made the play for multiple times. They still don't seem to be holding on to it.
Warp in play. Ooh, uncharacteristic miss there from Candy, but it was the tag onto Emmy. Unfortunately here for Mimi. Oh, I say unfortunately, actually, fortune favors the bold as she goes for the wide face towards B upper. Low HP there for Emmy as well, and Jennifer with the Molotov in hand means this round's now back in favor of Assassins. The bomb alone towards the B-Halls. And Vilga, if she wins that duel, the bomb towards Pop Dog, the round's over, even if this goes well for CLG Red towards Ali.
I imagine Dai is going to be the one looking to take the peak versus Kelly. Spotted out, but Kelly doesn't really need to take this fight, and there you go. There's exactly what you mentioned. The bomb's now in Pop. This round becomes impossible. Like, they've got to try and get to Pop, get the bomb back, or just kill everyone. And at the moment, they're doing quite well of killing everyone. Mimi's there with the AWP, but already tagged low. However, Goose will be traded out. Dai goes for the wide peak, but Claudia is there to hold. And yeah, it looked really disjointed once those two players went down to Mimi. I think they just sort of lost their composure, CLG Red.
Pause coming in. Should be from CLG Red. We've seen them use their tactical pauses extremely well so far. Actually used all 8 of them in this best of 3, but of course we've seen, gosh, what, 60, 70 rounds at this point, so it does make sense with how close this game has been. And yeah, let's give it the CLG Red first tactical timeout in this matchup. You still feeling confident in your pick of Assassins, Tom?
Yeah. Why wouldn't I? There's nothing worse than someone who changes their prediction. They're awful people. Just get rid of them.
Yeah, Harry or Hugo.
Yeah, don't sit on the fence. Just stick to what you got and be proud and wrong. That's what I've learned in life. Proud and wrong. Either way. 5-3. At the moment, it's looking pretty good for them, though. Last few rounds, we've had some important wins, like some important clutches. Vilga is still looking like she's running the server a lot of the time. And, well, now CLG Red, the choice they have is pretty much just where to go. Like, they're only going to have pistols. They can't, unless they're going to go for a full Galil buy, which almost makes me just want to vomit in my mouth. Like, just the idea of it is disgusting. Some
passion behind that hatred you have for the AUG, it seems.
AUG? I said Galil.
Oh, Galil, apologies. I thought you said all.
How are the T's going to buy that I would be completely behind if all the T's can buy AUGs, but that's not possible.
So we are on pause here. Let's see how effective that tactical timeout was for CLG Red. Obviously, they don't have the cash to buy into this one and get the impact from the pause straight away. There will be a slight round delay on that. But for now, though, just careful off of Benita. 2 flashbangs and some upgraded pistols across the board. And they are probably just going to burst in towards the B site with said flashbangs. Jennifer probably going to flash towards B lower in case there's an up there, but this time around, Assassins understand the economic situation, and also with the information gathered by Kelly, they know exactly what's about to come.
Yeah, this is all the information they'd ever need. And you can see the initial setup they had was Mimi almost towards the connector, and then her teammate was just all the way on A. Now they've rotated a third player in. This is more than scripted. They know exactly what's going on, and Kelly's coming in with a flank. Like, the chance for getting a bomb plant down has just gone absolutely out the window, and that's all thanks to the push coming in from Kelly. She'll be the unsung hero of this round. Might get one. In fact, she's even going to die, which it seems a little bit unfair considering she's done all the work.
2 kills for Mimi. But it is versus the eco here. There's any armor onto Benita, who currently wields an AUG. Vilga has the AWP still towards the A side, so just in case Benita was trying to come from a flank. Obviously, there was 50 seconds left on the clock, so she would have had time. Slowly making her way out of heaven. But the crouch means she may actually get the drop on to Candy. As Vilga peeks up towards heaven. She was the first player. Second, yeah, gonna be towards Grey Train. Easily dispatched up there at the end. 6-3 for Assassins. Winner playing Besiktas or Dignitas, which is the second semi-final today.
Yeah, that's like a battle of the Titans, I would say.
I know that. It's such a good matchup for the last day. Obviously, this one has been neck and neck into it. But obviously, the former champions versus the renowned best team in the world, that is definitely one to stay and tune in for. But why would you leave the channel when this game's been so intense?
We now see CLG Red, they've got themselves a buyback in, AWP with armor as well for Die. So I'd say this is one of the first actual full buys we've seen from the T side. Boost over, Kelly just tracks the head of Emmy and she's gone. That was more of just a fake. Like the idea there is to throw the player over and then Die jumps in and gets the kill. Instead, Kelly just ruins the person flying through the air and leaves this in a 5v4.
That's a big kill to find onto Emmy. Watched Train twice yesterday from CLG Red. Emmy was the impactful player towards Ali, Benita as well towards the outside. Train, I mentioned it in the preface before the game started, at how important it was for them to be firing on all cylinders. But that's more on the CT side, and obviously Assassins so far have been much stronger than they are on the defense. So Kelly has the angle, there's the duel. Claudia comes out as well to back up her teammate towards Ivy. And now it's the 5 versus 2 as the remaining 2 players drop in towards B. The bomb is there, so they can't plant. Maybe not even that will be able to happen as the time is out for Benita. 7-3, 4 an advantage now for Assassins. I think we're going to be seeing another pause come from CLG Red very shortly.
Yeah, I think it might be necessary. I understand the play there, but it's so reliant on picks. Like, the idea is to have the 2 players waiting in upper, the 3 players come through Ivy, wrap around to B, and you have a nice little sort of get together on the B site with all the angles covered. Obviously, you lose the fight on Ivy, you don't have any entries, and then you just have the 2 players alone pushing into B versus 5. That was never going to work, but the strategy behind it's not necessarily a bad one. Either way, they've gone for an investment here. Lots of utility being expended onto the A site, and you can see that MAC-10 back in play once again. The run and gun being attempted. Unfortunately for Jennifer, the AUG is just that slight bit better. And so are Assassins at the moment. This is a slaughter, and this is the thing with Train. It's so easy to get bogged down on that T side because it is one of those maps where if the CT side are just hitting their shots, a lot of the time getting into that site is going to be very difficult. They have won 7 rounds in a row now, Assassins.
With how passive Assassins are playing on the CT side, seeing obviously Vilga playing towards connector players, towards Green Train and the default side, they're not playing close towards Pop Dog anymore. And the problem for CLG Red is they're trying to burst with flashbangs to get those early kills in the close proximity positions towards Sandwich, towards Pop Dog. Instead, that the AEG is playing passive now having a field day versus those sorts of plays at range. The right call to make from CLG Red could be to go for the execution towards the A site if Assassins keep playing passive, keep them behind the smokes, get the bomb down, try and play an after plant situation. But second tactical timeout going to be used, 8-3. And yeah, I'm starting to lose confidence in my pick here.
Ooh. That's a shame, isn't it? I'm feeling all right. But even so, we've seen a much better CT side from both these teams. I don't really include Mirage when it comes to like maps where you go, oh yeah, no, it's a better CT side, T side map because I feel like it's so balanced. Yeah, whereas when it goes to the maps where it's actually quite difficult to win T rounds, like breaking into those sites, even with setups, can be very difficult. The two I put in that sort of category, obviously there's Nuke, but that one's just ridiculous. So you go towards like Train, Overpass. Like, it's possible to win a lot of T rounds, but it can be very easy to get bogged down and get stuck. So at the moment, that seems what CLG Red are in. That's why they're taking the pause. They're giving the coach some time to talk and maybe spotting a weakness or something. And I think in all honesty, a lot of that comes down to the B side because obviously breaking down Mimi is not an easy thing to do, but she has been solo playing that site. If you can isolate her, if you can win the duels and you can get into good after plant positions, I think that's where they could actually make the plays.
Mimi is playing it well though.
Yeah, 13-6. Can't deny it.
Shorter peeking towards the ramp. Obviously, we've seen the one instance where Emmy just took her head off. But apart from that, she was gaining information, falling back, using the Molotov well, playing far back in the right positions versus the certain buys. If it was pistols, if it was in the mid portion of the round, if it was versus a full buy, always having an impact. Build around the tag. Actually, the double.
Oh no.
The smoker pop dog. The line up there was perfect. And obviously, it is versus the pistols, so not going to be the most game-changing of plays, but it's definitely going to help. Emmy last alive. Not even a chance to get a kill. 5 players surviving, 9-3. And you can see the smiles now on the faces of the players. Kelly definitely enjoying herself in this game.
The bank as well is scary for Assassins. This is not what you want to see when you're playing Train. A double AWP setup, AKs or an AK on the side of the CTs, and then like multiple players with 8,000 plus, 13,500 for the AWPer. That's a few AWPs in a row.
Exactly, they can buy for the rest of the half. There's only 3 more rounds to be played out. Default now coming out from CLG Red. 2 players towards B upper, 2 T main, and then Goose Breeder alone towards Ali this time. Candy with the AWP towards Heaven. And Emmy, yeah, she's going to walk into it. Again, Emmy gives up the first frag. Maybe she's trying to take this matchup into her own hands, playing overly aggressive to try and get that first kill and carry her team. But if anything, she's just overextended and giving away this kill. It's been twice now. Bilger takes down Jennifer. CLG Red are just falling apart piece by piece.
Yeah, Benita's now trying to sneak through. Claudia waiting, spots the feet. Very easy kill. This is all just individual plays. There's every single one of the fights that has happened so far. There has been no option for a trade. And well, so far it has been Assassins winning every single one. Obviously with the last 2 players left alive, it's kind of hard to team up in this scenario. They are on different portions. Candy's actually going to get legged up, but Claudia's there to wrap around, and well, she's been fantastic in this map as well. A double kill for her, 10-3. And I actually want to talk about that for that opening pick. I think that was more just an attempt to like close down Mimi from where she was before. And because that was the first time that Candy's just been sat there on the upper portion, I think that Emmy was completely caught out. I don't think she knew that there'd be someone there just holding it with an AWP. Basically saying it's a good switch up from Assassins.
Yeah, they've actually been doing that very well on the CT sides on all the maps, keeping CLG Red on their toes. Vilga's calling has been extremely proactive, switching to what the opposition are doing and countering it.
Also, that because of all the pauses that CLG Red are taking, Punish also getting a lot of time to just go. He's getting free time. Just go, okay, well, try this now and do that. I don't know that that's the case. Oh no, this is the worst time to do the boost. Vilga's been sat up close a couple of times now. She almost dies herself, but Jennifer, 1 HP, and now Die falls as well. This is just battle after battle, but Benita's got 2. Unfortunately, Jennifer's actually going to kill herself while jumping down, and Kelly's low. She'll burn. This is actually possible now for CLG Red. It's very backwards and forwards. Benita doing a lot of the damage. Mimi's still left around the side. The rotation has come in, but the bomb, yeah, to actually make its way towards A. It's going to be rotating. Oh, nice shot from Benita, but a miss from Candy. Now it's left all onto Mimi. The rotation going back towards that B site. She'll be stuck in a retake.
Has the defuse kit, Molotov, Org, and 2 flashbangs. Almost down. This is where things get difficult. Benita spots out exactly where she is. And now all CLG Red have to do is peek together, play the trade, play the bomb. And yeah, now they've both gone towards the ramp. That might just be this round all done and sealed. First frag found. Still 10, 15 seconds left from the bomb. And actually, Goosebreeder may go for the wide face. She's waiting for the bomb to be tapped. Mimi taps the bomb, waits for the face. Goosebreeder peeks wide, wins the duel, and there you have it. 10-4, another round on the board for CLG, but still Assassins on double digits. And thankfully for CLG, there is no chance of the reset as this is the last round. So the fact it was a 1 versus 1 won't bear any repercussions later on.
Yeah, not later on, it does now. Because the buy that they have now is a Scout and a Galil. Like, not ideal. I already said I don't like the Galil, but that's just personal preference. Some people swear by it, but it's still going to be damaging. And of course, we've already spoken about the heaps of cash that Assassins currently have. It's going to be Mimi once again tested. I was saying she was one of the players that if they can isolate, this is a good opportunity. She is the only person here. If she dies without a kill, this round may just be done, but she's going to pre-fire the angle. Still only manages 1 kill. The rotation will have to be quick. Vilga going to be spawning straight towards Upper, does some damage, but doesn't manage to finish off any of the CLG players. Bomb will be planted. But it's all good. They haven't pushed forward. This is one of the problems. Like, this is a retake of almost old, sitting back towards this B site. And a lot of the time, it's very easy for the CT players to just pick them apart because you don't really have anywhere to go.
Thankfully, though, there is no flank coming in towards the B halls. But now, here comes the push in towards B. 4 versus 3. Claudia goes down as well. Goosebreeder having a tear on towards the B site. Emmy silences Kelly, and now it's all down to Candy. And the half is going to conclude, Tom, 10-5 in favor of Assassins. CLG Red here looked so strong on train yesterday. They had, I believe it was a 16-7 win. And also a 16-1 win as one of the best of 3 casts in the evening versus Pain Gaming. But it was their CT side where they were 13-0 up. So maybe it's going to look better later on.
Yeah, no, I do expect a lot more from their CT side. And when it was actually mentioned by the desk in Overpass, like they were saying that a lot of the time the T sides is where these teams do let themselves down a little bit. Obviously, Assassins are a brand new team, so when it comes to tactical strategy, like, that's where they could fall a little bit flat. I do, however, think if they get themselves the pistol and can get themselves rolling very on, limit the economy, don't allow Die to get that AWP, then this could actually end quite quickly. I think it's important that CLG Raid get off to a good start.
We saw on the last map, both pistols being won by CLG Red, and that came down to a 16-13, so that really did have the impact later on. It did pay its dividends back. But this is where push comes to shove, this is where everything matters. Last half, the last map here. First semi-final of the Intel Challenge. There's going to be Jennifer to spot 3 players making their way out through Pop Dog. Kelly with the entry frag. Candy as well chimes in, but Goosebreeder is in the midst of it. In towards Sandwich, surrounded there by T players across the board, and now it's all down to Diane. And this is heartbreaking for CLG, especially when they won Mirage, and especially with the situation they had on the first map being 15-11 up. To see this scoreline in the last and deciding map must be heartbreaking.
Yeah. It is worth noting, though, CLG Red are very good with their force buys. They've been great with the scouts, they've been great with the pistols, so this is definitely a round that Assassins have to be careful. It's not worth taking any risks here. They've gone for 3 rifles, which, if we talk about early portions of this tournament where they were up against Assassins, they had SMGs, all players. So they are definitely taking this more seriously. They are respecting the opponents they are up against. However, they are still going to go for a quick play in towards the B side. Try and use those rifles to their advantage already. Vilga going to be tagged down by the first scout. A second hitting it as well. So that will be Jennifer with the opening pick. The quick push coming in from Emmy. We'll get another with the pistols. This is exactly what I was talking about. They're so good in these second round force buys. And one by one, we see the Assassins begin to fall. The question is, can Mimi do anything to save them? The answer quickly is no, and Candy's going to be overwhelmed. CLG Red, they're definitely not out of this map just yet.
Assassins just forcing the plant, forcing the plays. All they had to do was cover the bomb planter there. Hold towards the top of Grey Train. Deny that player, stopping Kelly from planting. And at that point, you have 3 versus 3. You have the high ground, the weaponry, everything going in your favor. And you can play the afterplant with the knowledge they had. Instead, they don't cover. They're so paranoid about a flank coming towards B. 2 of the players go up the B ramp, holding for a pop dog push. They should have really just kept their eyes peeled on the present. But it is going to be the force spy coming out from Assassins. 3 Deagles, 1 CZ, and a P250 is what Assassins are going to be using to try and fight back. You can't really fight back against a shot like that.
Yeah, no, Dai seems to be a maestro of the scout, bringing it in at every opportunity. Her and Jennifer, a big part of winning that previous round. Obviously aggression of Emmy as well, but they have set themselves up very nicely here, obviously saving a couple of AKs and bringing the AUGs alongside it means the force spy is very unlikely going to pull off a victory. Obviously, we did see in the first map a very backwards and forwards beginning, but I feel like the CT side of Train is not one that really benefits those pistols. Unless you're running in towards the B side and you take a lot of control and you sort of get towards the connector, it's so difficult to break in and find opening picks. And with these sort of plays, like we're just seeing disjointed individual fights taken by Assassins, you're never going to win a pistol round like this. It's just not possible.
11-7, a little bit of BM there from Benita. Maybe CLG Red are feeling confident in the comeback. They are going to be gifted another round versus the Eco. Unless something magical happens. We've seen it a few times actually in this tournament, Eco rounds somehow transmuting into round victories. But it's going to be the simple rush out team lane, getting the round over with, walking through the fire and the flames and into the loving embrace of Benita's orb crosshair. 11-8, now only 3 round advantage for Assassins, and they're on the T side, and this is where things really get tough.
Yeah, I think it's important that they pick up a round quickly, otherwise we could easily see this swing into the hands of CLG Red. They've already built up quite a bank behind them. Easy buy into the next round, even if they lose, and if they win, well, that's even more finances put into their pockets. Still, though, we're yet to see Assassins with full rifles. We did have 3 in the round that they lost versus the Scout. We're going to see the drop down. Benita's going to be tested early, and she's going to get 1, almost a second. Kelly tagged down to less than half, but will survive. And, well, normally when you talk about a 4v4, you do give it over to that T side.
Maybe not in this instant, as they have 3 players here from CLG Red to arm this A site. Diane with the AUG, slowly shifting around the angles, trying to find the next pick, the next victim. And it might be Vilga. A bit of an awkward exchange there, which does fall in favor of Assassins. Good trade there, though, by Goose Breeder as they go for more. Jennifer through the smoke to silence 2 of them. 3 players surviving. Ooh, a bit of a smirk there from Jennifer. They're really starting to build their confidence back slowly. 11-9. No pause yet for Assassins. Slightly worrying.
Yeah, we've had plenty of pauses pulled out from CLG Red, maybe just not feeling the pressure just yet over on the Assassin side, but this was something that they wanted to avoid. Like, all of the sort of money being in the hands of CLG Red, they can pull out an AWP whenever they like. In fact, you can see Dai is not content with the $5,000 she has in the bank, and with the MP9 on that upper spot, they're ready to try and basically deny the bomb plant on B. That's why they've got a couple of players there. Normally you just have a B anchor player just holding on, calling for rotations. Instead, they've doubled up and given her the chance to make some cash.
Well played there from Diane. Pushing for the info. Should find some more here as well. No bomb, which means Mimi and Claudia have to be towards A. And I'm hearing some typing in the chat, so that hopefully is a pause coming out from Assassins. As it's going to go 11-10. Best hope here for Assassins is maybe Claudia or Mimi can find a weapon, hold on to it for another 50 seconds. But yeah, it's going to be giving away their life to Benita. Actually, Diane's MP9 there to get $600 for that kill. Yeah, it's going to be the first tactical timeout from Assassins, so needs to be an important one.
Yeah, this is the first full buy that we see coming in from them. Obviously, we've had rifles before, but this is where we see the Candy AWP yet to have massive impact in this game, I would say. But like, I'm definitely looking forward, on the T side, I mean, but I'm obviously looking forward to her bringing it in, seeing if she can find some of those opening picks. The same will be said for Dai on the other side. And the thing is, we've spoken about both of these teams. A lot of this match, I feel, has come down to momentum. Like, you look at Overpass, CLG Red were running away with it. They get a little bit bogged down, and that's when Assassins creep back in and manage to win a ludicrous amount of rounds. I think it was like eight rounds in a row or something to close out the game, like towards the end. I think they were winning 15-11. Either way, it was just one of those situations where Assassins are able to push this over the line. Now if CLG Red have picked up the momentum, I'm starting to fear for the European roster.
So time will tell. And for Punisher, the coach of Assassins, what is the best play that he has to call in this scenario? Obviously, in terms of utility, they have an abundance of it. They have the AWP as well for Candy. They've tried the default many, many times. It hasn't really worked too well in their favor with how passive some rounds CLG Red are playing. They're basically playing on the site with the AUGs, just waiting for the push and the peaks to come through, having the advantage while they're holding the angle scoped in, and just abusing the fact that they have that weapon advantage. But CLG Red, they're going to be throwing a spanner in the works. They know that Assassins are going to go for a set play after taking the pause. So what's the best way to react to that? Go for some aggression.
Oh, side by side. Goose Breeder and Vilga played against each other many a time. It's going to be literally who spots the other first, and they're both just playing this so passively. I almost wonder who's going to be the one to peek, and there you go. Vilga will be handed that opener, but Dai's very quick to trade back. In the meantime, this is called for a rotation. We're going to see one CT start to edge back towards the B side, but in fact, they are going to double up once again. Kelly's looking the one to make the entry, and actually, they've called for the full rotation. Will they check for Jennifer? They need to check this close angle, and they do. Kelly will get that pick, and the bomb will be planted on the site. Benita and Dai, the only ones still left to hold on to this. Now, they do have the cash. They can go for this. They've got so much money left in the bank. I say they. It's only Benita left, but she's already managed to finish off one now. And even just another kill here is valuable when it comes to this CT side. They have got the money, whereas the Ts, this will be their first victory so far, other than the pistol, of course.
It's true.
Not going to get anything else done.
Yep, losing 5 rounds in a row, they break the curse, get to 12.
Yeah, Candy getting a triple. Finally having that AWP pin on the T side made a big, big difference for the Assassin side. So obviously looking at her to try and do a little bit more. The fact is, though, CLG Red were very aggressive at the beginning of that round, and that ultimately set off the sort of domino effect of the round going into turmoil. Plenty of money still. They could probably even buy into the next round. But obviously that's banking on them.
Oh.
Getting the loss. Bit of damage done through the wall.
Yeah, getting tickled there towards the B halls as they, all 5 of the players cross towards B. Just going to be Jennifer with the AWP towards the oil train. Smokes being lined up and ready to be deployed towards B. Doesn't look like a fake here as they are looking like they're raring to go. But CLG Red are playing for the retake, and this is where Jennifer, if she finds the 1 kill, plays to survive, plays to basically take time off the clock. If she can molly towards default or even get some more kills, that works as well. 3 for 1 exchange towards B. 4 versus 2 as the bomb isn't even down here for Assassins, and this is the reset.
Yeah, this is so unlikely at this point. They need a hero, and it's just not coming. Vilga, 1 versus 4. This seems nigh on impossible, and she may even just have to opt to try and save that AWP. Doesn't have much money going back in. Flashbang's good, but doesn't quite manage to connect the shot. She's going to go for the same thing again. A different flashbang this time. I'm going to go for the same peak, but it has not worked, and our opponent is just going to be waiting on the angle. 30 seconds left on the clock, and I think she really needs to make the decision just to fall back and hold on to this AWP.
20 seconds remaining. Vilga not wanting to die after time. Does concede the duel to Jennifer. 12-11. Pause coming in. Again, has to be from Assassins with how poor their T side has been. And for Jennifer there on that B bomb side, just waiting for the flashbangs, waiting for the execution to come, jumps off the red train, finds the first frag of the player crossing towards grey train. Why was there no smoke for the cross? The issue is Assassins leaving gaps in their assaults and attacks towards the sites, which are heaven for an AWP to take advantage of.
Yeah, I think now that they're going to be sort of kicking themselves after not being able to convert the pistol round. Like, that would have been such a big deal. Assassins could have closed this game out a long, long time ago, but the force buy of CLG Red has brought back doom upon them. They are now left in financial deficit, and the rounds looking like they're going to swing in favor of CLG Red. Assassins need to dig deep in this situation. It seems like Vilga's being quite vocal at the moment. She'll be the one sort of talking things through, trying to give some ideas, obviously conferring with Punisher to try and come up with something that can break the CLG defense. But the thing is, even if you break the defense once, twice, they still have the finances to continue to buy.
Yeah, that's the issue, really. And for CLG Red, kill-wise, it's all very evenly distributed. Actually, for Assassins as well. So it's as if it was like on Overpass, where Vilga was unbelievable, Candy was very strong too, and then for CLG Red, it was pretty much the Emmy show for the first 65–70% of that map. All of these games, all of these maps going down to the wire here. So, round of 24. It will be the Quasi buy coming out from Assassins. Just going to be the double Kevlar buy for Mimi and Claudia. Once again, Jennifer could spot the cross. Well, actually, just going to hold towards Heaven. Will allow for the bomb to go down. Does land the tag onto Claudia while fully blind.
A little bit of a push coming in around the connector. It's a little bit messy. Goosebreeder sort of got stuck in the smoke. Vilga's managed to get herself one, and actually Kelly did manage to sneak past. Unfortunately, all she has is a Glock, so it's just going to be burning down the clock here. The other person is Mimi left, and she will at least find one. All in all, I would say it's a very successful round for Assassins. 2 kills, bomb going to be defused. Nothing that can be done about that. But the fact is, they needed that bomb plant just to give enough money over to the remaining couple of players to buy. Kelly didn't have much cash. Claudia was a little bit low as well, so that's all good for them.
This is where it's all to play for. Assassins using all the cash they have left in their bank balance for this buy. 25th round, and we're all squared up, 12-12. As Claudia gets ready for the smoke. Candy as well. That's a smoke for the cross between Brown Train and the default site, or Red Train even, and obviously the one towards Connector and default. So I think they're going to go for an execution, Tom, and especially with Pop Dog being given up for free, this could be extremely effective if they go for the wall of smokes, flood out through Pop Dog. Okay, maybe not before that HE grenade did land, but either way, the strategy should be very effective here from Assassins. However, look where Diane is with the AWP. Look where Goosebreeder is, falling back on towards default. Diane, if she misses the shot, she won't have much impact.
Well, as if. So far, she's been very consistent with the AWP. Flashed off the angle, but will be able to fall back. To clear out, she's got to be careful of the players on top of the train. She's waiting for a further push, but a couple of misses. That could be the end of Dice. She still survives. Vilga will be handed a free kill, though, and gives the advantage over to this T side. Push continuing to come in. Rotation's already there. Benita tries to do her best, but can't get anything done. Goosebreeder, however, will. 3 kills. Spins around and hits the head of Kelly, and that will be the round for CLG. Wow. Well, you can see she's the one to win championships, that's for sure.
And he broke her neck there, that 180. Headshot towards Pop Dog. Incredible hat-trick of kills there on the retake towards that site. I say retake, but happened so instantaneously. Assassins have taken a timeout after each and every loss they've had in the past 3 rounds, and seems like they're starting to run out of ideas.
Yeah, this is the sort of tough moment on Train. It's one of those maps where if you just can't get anything done, it's so demoralizing. And the fact is, in the last round, they didn't actually do anything wrong. The setup was good, the openings were good, the flashbangs, everything worked out. They just couldn't stop Goosebreeder. And that's the worst sort of scenario for you. Like, it's very, very difficult to take positives from a loss, especially in the moment, to go into it and go, hey, actually everything worked until she got a triple kill. You're still going to have in the back of your mind that, yeah, okay, one of us should have killed her. And that's the big problem at the moment for Assassins, is that they're not necessarily making the wrong plays. It's just they're unable to stop some of these players stepping up for CLG Red.
Not sure what's going on there. Trying to stay warm and try and stay...
Warming up the mouse mat.
Yeah, exactly. Got a completely different mood.
God.
What's happened? Oh, you're looking at the in-game feed. Yeah.
It's a lot worse in-game.
CLG Red are enjoying themselves in the server. Same can't be said for Assassins, as complete stark contrast in the mood between the two teams just by body language alone. But we are live then. Round number 26 is the eco, so no armor, just full utility and some extra utility from Mimi and Vilga. They can go for the smokes towards B lower or towards the A side if they manage to get out, but it seems like it will be the first option. Smokes down lower, maybe a Molotov behind default. Try to get the bomb down for some more money into the last round, but
they're ready for it.
Clutching for straws here.
Yeah, Benita is in a much more aggressive position than what we saw last time. Like, the bomb going down was so successful because we saw CLG Red so passive towards the connector. Now this time, they've got Benita up above. They've also got Upper being watched by Jennifer with a secondary orb. So unless there's some sort of mistake here, I just don't see this happening. And you can see even the third player is going to be rotating in for the CT side. They're pretty much pushing into a straight up B stack. Like, you never see more players than this on B.
Maybe you do when you know the opposition is on eco. Diane 2. Benita with the elevated angle just to snipe them down with ease. 14 to 12. CLG now 2 away from booking their ticket in the final of Intel Challenge. What a Cinderella story from the last year when I was casting them and they went out in the group stages on train as well. So, full buy from Assassins. Looks like they're setting up for a default here. Nothing too elaborate as of now. 2-1-2 default, so they're probably going to go for the late control towards Ali, unless Goose Breeder and Diane have something to say.
Yeah, they've got that all back into the hands of Candy.
Oh,
there he goes! Double kill comes in as the aggression comes out over towards Ivy. It doesn't work out for the CT side, and that's the impact that AWP has had. A 2-player advantage now for this T side, and you can see the patience. They're waiting. They don't want to give anything over to CLG. They don't want to give them a single chance to get back into this round. You know, there's going to have to be some sort of play, peek out, risky, but both players actually take an even tag, which is not that bad for the Ts. They've actually gambled quite heavily in towards the B side at the moment. Kelly's trying to make a bit of a play there, almost fake them out. And in the meantime, we've seen the Ts push out on towards A. Benita has to be a bit of a hero here, looking to try and spray down these remaining players with the AUG. Goose Breeder's there with her. She's got a double back of her own. Goose Breeder's gone ham with 4 kills. And now it's left all on to Mimi. 1 versus 2, they're both incredibly low. Only 30 seconds left on the clock. It's Goose Breeder pushing down, looking to try and get in on the flank, wants to try and get her ace, but it's actually the wraparound. Neither player spotting where the other has gone. The problem is the time left, 15 seconds. Surely this is the end for Mimi. There's no way she's going to be able to get away with this one. And in fact, she's now run out of time. The Molotov into the connector. The bomb just going to have to be retrieved. And Goose Breeder with the ace.
And that's match point now for CLG Red. Ace from Goose Breeder towards Ali. Just lines all those players trying to funnel out through Pop Dog. Has the long range angle scoped up. Snipes them down 1 by 1. Pause, and I imagine that's the last one. Yeah, 4th tactical timeout.
I wonder if Dig are going to regret letting her go. That was incredible.
Well, we'll find out shortly with the next best of 3, won't we? Besiktas versus Dignitas, obviously the next matchup here at the Intel Challenge. So, no one really wanted to speak there on the side from Assassins, and obviously, while they're all listening to Punisher, if you're the coach for this team in this situation, what can you really say? It has to be a Rocky level speech, this, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, he's been given 3 other chances.
Yeah.
It hasn't gone well. So it gets to the 4th time, he's like, well, once you get a double AWP headshot, try and get the rest of the kills. I don't know. It's difficult.
That's true.
Like,
that was a 3 versus 5.
Yeah, like literally Goosebreeder single-handedly turned that round, because that was, I think Benita also went down. So like it was literally just her like holding onto it from Ivy. It was an incredible play. Shouldn't have been able to get away with it, but she does. And then surviving on such low HP, even able to close out the round. So yeah, that is a game-changing play from Goosebreeder, and she may have just put CLG Red into the finals. Obviously, there's still at least one more round to go. But the way that things have been going, Assassins, they have to pull something out of nothing. They've got a worse buy than they've had over the last few rounds. There's no AWP, which has been, I think the one round they won, Candy gets a triple kill. Then you've also got, obviously they won the pistol. I'm not really going to count that in terms of the actual buy rounds. And then other than that, the last round, the closest one they've had in a while, she gets a double headshot. But now, just going to have an AK.
3 match points for CLG Red. They are going to be versus a fairly good buy here from Assassins, so it's not quite written in stone just yet. Mach 10 for Vilga. Kelly with the Galil, and apart from that, 3 AKs to round off the rest of the T side by, as they're all going to group up and culminate this best of 3 towards the B side. Benita, good rotation. Can be backed up by Jennifer towards Heaven. We've seen this situation many, many times before, Tom. But each and every time, it was the retake being so strong from CLG Red. So, Vilga. Ooh, Claudia's made a bit of a mishap there, signaling and foreshadowing what may be about to come.
Man, no rotation thrown from CLG Red, maybe expecting a little bit of a fake. Obviously, it's only the footsteps. One player, they've had Kelly lurking over on the B side quite often in this match, but now comes the push. Benita, bit of an off angle, sprays down one, should be traded out, but there's Jennifer once again. This second AWP has been doing damage on the B side, and she's more than happy to just hold on to that advantage. Doesn't need to overface in this scenario. The T's haven't managed to gain much ground. It's only really Mimi in an aggressive position. They need some sort of hero here from her, and she does manage to pick off one, peeks out for the second though, and it's just a trade. Still keeps the advantage with this CT side, although there has been some damage done along the way. Kelly just trying to hold onto the site, peeks out, manages a first with that Galil, traded out a teammate, but she's doing it all. Dai looking around the corner and hits the headshot as well. This game is done. CLG Red with an incredible comeback will make themselves into the grand final, and they will face off against either their American or North American buddies or Besiktas.
It's true indeed. Look at the happiness, elation from the players of CLG Red. They booked their ticket to the final tomorrow. Playing versus, as you said, Dignitas or Besiktas. And Tom, I was right. I said CLG Red. I'm just saying, I said CLG Red on train. They were going to take it. They looked so good on that map yesterday.
You also said that you were really worried, so you kind of backed down.
Yeah, worried, but
you put yourself perched on the fence a little bit, so it's not as impressive.
Really good showmanship there from the players.
I have to say, like, for Assassins to come into this tournament with a brand new team and to then go and almost, to beat Dignitas, the reigning champions, and then give a damn good showing in a best of 3 versus CLG, who, although they have changed the player, they've had a much more sort of longer standing roster. I think props definitely have to go there, and I think coming up maybe next year, or obviously the up and coming tournaments, they're going to be a force to be reckoned with.
Just can't believe how close that best of 3 really was. Overtime on the first map, 16-13 on Mirage, and then that last one as well, I believe 16-12 on Train. Yep. So for CLG Red, coming into this event, last year not making it out of the groups, making it to the final this time around, massive difference.
Yeah, for sure. I think both teams have definitely shown themselves on the stage. I don't think, although it's obviously disappointing to not make it to the final, I don't think either of them really could have been upset if they had lost to their opponent. I think both obviously very strong teams. I think this makes the rest of the year obviously very exciting when it comes to the likes of like Copenhagen Games.
Yeah, that's coming shortly, April.
I think obviously WSG is a little bit different because the rosters change, but I still think that it's going to make these tournaments very exciting, and I genuinely don't know who's going to be facing off against them in this next match.
And for Assassins as well, you know, you have to leave with your head held high.
For sure.
Came into this event, you know, last minute in the qualifier, playing that mixed, loose style, and unfortunately for them, they couldn't quite make it all the way to the final.
For sure.
However, CLG Red, they must have a lot to say after such an intense, closely fought matchup in that best of 3. Freya, take it away.
Thank you so much, guys. Yes, I am down here with Goosebreeder from the winning side, CLG Red. How are you feeling about going to that grand final tomorrow?
I'm feeling really good. That first game was pretty rough for us. We were pretty much like dead asleep. So we really had to muster up like every bit of energy we had going into that. So knowing that we went through that in all those really close games, like shout out to them. They played really well too. That was not an easy game. I feel really good going in tomorrow because we proved that we can bounce back and we are a team that should be in the finals.
Yeah, definitely. That was an incredibly close series. Did you expect it to be that close, come up against Assassins?
I mean, I knew they have a lot of talented, experienced players, so I didn't underestimate them at all. I mean, I thought we could definitely beat them, but I didn't take them lightly at all. They do have a lot of good players, so.
Now, I just want to go back to that first map. Your map pick, you looked so strong in that first half. What happened in that second half going into OT? What were some of the issues that you guys faced?
Honestly, like, I think it was just a bit of a rough game. We were losing, we couldn't find the answers, and it just seems like we were kind of a little bit dead on the communication, and like, when we were taking a site, we weren't clearing angles very well or using the right flashes. It just seemed like every time we hit something, we were just a little bit off. You could tell we were playing a little bit nervous, so we snapped out of it for the last 2 maps.
So how did you come back into it after a loss on your own map pick? How do you guys kind of feel yourselves back into the game on that second map, Mirage?
I mean, it's all just confidence. Like when you're starting to get traction and you can tell that you're having the right reads, you just roll with it and like the confidence just comes, and that's pretty much just what happened for us. Even though it's not our map pick, we don't go down that easy, so.
Now, tomorrow, you will be facing either Perstictus or Dignitas, your old teammates, in fact. Who do you want to be taking on tomorrow?
I honestly would be happy taking on either of them. They're both pretty good teams, so either of them really.
I'm sure it will be amazing grand final either way. Thank you so much for your time, Goose Breeder. Lottie, let's head back over to you at the desk.
Thank you very much, Freya. Amazing stuff there from Goose Breeder. I mean, she was so phenomenal in those last moments of that map, and really what was that sort of like turning point for that team and that win? So amazing stuff to CLG and GG's to Assassins as well, because those 3 maps were very close. They could have gone either way. It could have been swayed by a slight change in the wind there for either of those teams. But, you know, to be able to battle it out in 3 close maps like that just shows the best of the best is here to play. And they're playing to their best ability on that stage. They're not leaving anything behind. Now, Goose Breeder did say they were kind of asleep in the first map.
Yeah.
I mean, did you feel that way as well?
Well, something that we mentioned earlier, that both teams seem so nervous on a